Hello there, my beautiful and lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. Now, what happens when we get the 299% damage boost in Overwatch? Now, you can do this legit in any ranked games, in tournament games, in scrims, and in quick play. This is not some custom game setup. The only thing that you will see in the background footage with the custom games is that I have increased the Roadhog HP to 3000 and I've increased the Zarya HP to 1000. Now, you see some quite fun stuff by doing this, of course, stuff like a Torbjorn, 4-shotting, and Ryan, which is Force Hammer, but you also see a really good representation of some of the balance changes that's been happening in Overwatch. For example, the buff to McCree's Van the Hammer that came through not too long ago, and also the Reaper lifesteal buff that is currently on the PTR. When we scale up the damage to 299%, almost a 300% damage boost, then you see some of these stats really quickly scale, and that gives you a very good representation of what it used to be compared to what it is now. Now, to do this, legit, as said, you can do this in any game. You need an Ana and a Orisa and a Mercy, and they will be giving you the 130% damage boost, which is, of course, 50 from the Nano, 50 from the Supercharger, and 30 from Mercy's damage boost. Now, how we get from 130% to 299 is with the power of Zenyatta's purple ball. Now, since Discord Orb is much better coordinated with another damage boost than, for example, bandage boost. For example, giving nano boosted and then attacking something with a Zen Orb is better than you being nano boosted and getting damaged by a Mercy. And the reason for that is that Zenyatta's Orb is a 30% damage boost to damage received. Meaning, you take the damage, you increase that, in our example, by 130%, and then you take the number that you get out there and increase that again by 30. So for example, with a Dragon Blade, that will be 120 for the blade is the standard damage. Increase that by 130%, give 276. And then you take 276 and increase that again by 30, increasing that number to 358 per swing. And now this is where stuff get kind of fun and kind of scary. For example, you can do some really amazing play. You can fulfill your dreams and your hard wishes at becoming an attack Torbjorn Hammer only, since your Torbjorn Hammer will do 163 damage per hit with that little Forge Hammer, Molten Core. On top of that, you get some attack speed, and you can 4-shot a Reinhardt. Also, you can traumatize the enemy team by using something like Moira's Coalescence. Now, Moira's Coalescence, without Discord Orb, because, you can't Discord Orb every single enemy, without Discord Orb, will do 161 per second. Now, if you Discord Orb a target, for example, the enemy Ryan, you will do 209 damage per second. Meaning, if you don't count the Zenyatta, if no damage orb from the Zen, you will be doing 1,288 damage if you only shoot at one target. If the entire enemy team is grouped up, none is discorded, you will do 7,728. And if for some reason you manage to Discord up everyone, you would and Discord the entire enemy team while coalescing them with all this damage, you would be doing 10,000 damage and 44. Now, you're going to do some more of the fun stuff here, is for example stuff with Genji. As I said, you do 358 damage with a swing from 120 to 358, and your dash goes from a 50 to 149, meaning if you cut dash, which most Genji mains recognize as our damage combo we use on when we nanoed against 200 HP heroes and such, a cut and a dash with all of this is 507 damage, which is enough to kill a Reinhardt. So you can cut dash and just delete a Reinhardt. You can also, of course, cut dash and delete a Zarya. So you can chain this into tanks. You can do the same with Winston. And personally, I find that just amusing to watch. Now, Tracer does 911 damage with her Pulse Bomb. And just one magazine from a Tracer straight into the body. For example, let's say that you see the Roadhog, you don't want to land a headshot, he has to back turn to you, you fire one magazine into him, the Hog is also discorded, that's 717 damage. Meaning you can one-mug any hero in the game as Tracer if you do all of this, which is quite fun from my point of view at least. Now, Widow, of course, is a one-shotting machine, no matter really what you do to her. Her headshot is normally 300. If the target is Zen Orb, you will do up to 897. Unfortunately, it's not 900 damage. That's because, of course, it's 299% damage boost, not 300. If the target is not marked by Zenyatta, you will do 690 damage. So that's how you can kind of see the scale of a Zen Orb from 690. And as soon as it discorded, that's 897 damage. And if you if you don't get damage boosted by Mercy, so if you're only getting damage boosted by Ana and Orisa, you do 600 damage per headshot, right? Which essentially is you're one-shotting any hero in the game as long as there's no HP increase on anyone. Now, we bring this over to the balance changes. First, if you look at Van der Hammer went from a 45 to a 55. I made a video on this talking about why I think that was quite an increase, which we have seen is a very big damage increase. So when we scale this up, you can see the damage. So before the buff, when he did 45 per shot, he would do, with an entire Van der Hammer clip, he would do 807 damage now. Now, in the current patch where each shot is 55, you damage that up, the target is discorded, that's 982. From 807 to 982. And that is fun, because 982, if you damage combo that, and you can do that, you can chain 3 Van der Hammers together, as most people know, by Van der Hammer, combat roll, Van der Hammer, High Noon, cancel that High Noon, and then you can Van der Hammer again. That way you constantly reload, since High Noon also reloads your gun for you. That is 2,946 damage if you fire all 3, which is enough to kill a Hog, a D.Va, a Hammond, a Reinhardt, and a Winston, and have a little bit damage over to spend on someone else. Now, if we look at Reaper lifesteal changes, right, it went from a 30% lifesteal of all, so essentially the damage you deal with Reaper, you take 30% on the current live servers. On the PTR, that has been increased by 20% all the way up to 50, so half the damage you deal will be healed up to your HP. Now, Reaper, with all of this on Discord, target just 418 pure body shots. If every single pellet is body shot, you will deal 418. Now, if it's all headshots, it's 717 damage. Now, on the current server, where you have 30% lifesteal, all headshots, so 717, that would be 215 lifesteal, right? So per shot, all headshots, 215 in lifesteal. If you land all body shots, which was 418 on the current servers, you will be lifestealing 125 per shot. Now, if we bring that over to the PTR, where they increased his damage, his lifesteal by 20%, all headshots will be 358, so 215 all the way up to 358. If you look at all body shots, so 418 damage, that went from 125 on the current live servers to 209, meaning, if you look at it, meaning that on the current PTR server, with increase, you go from all body shots is 209 healing, and on the current live server, all headshots is 215. So you almost lifesteal, with the current changes, if you boost it up, you will almost lifesteal as much if you land all shots to the body, compared to if you would land all shots to the head, which is a pretty big significant when you scale this up. Now, of course, we have something like Barrage in the end here, which is will do 10,764 damage with the Discord Orb, of course. And we have Bob, which is really funny, because on impact, if you do all of them, of course, then you would have to nano boost the Bob and so on. Bob will do, on impact, with the Zen Orb, 354 damage. So he can run into someone and just one-shot practically any hero, except the Bastion. The reason Bastion in third form won't get one-shot is because his passive will negate the Zenyatta Discord Orb, meaning that instead of doing 354, you will do 276, which is the damage output you do without the Discord Orb. Now, of course, without Discord, Bob's duration ult of his just handguns will be 2,511 guns, which is kind of the stat that you would be going for, since again you can't constantly keep on tracking which target Bob is shooting at with the Discord. That's a little bit difficult. So 2,511 on the duration of Bob's hand cannon, and if you for some reason manage to time every single Discord Orb on the target that Bob want to shoot on, that would be 3,264 damage. Now, that's really all there is there. I want to give a shout out to my friends that helped me record this. Håkon, Birger, Julie, Christopher, and Susanna helping me record all this footage in the background. Thank you guys so much. And as always, guys, subscribe to the channel if you like videos like this. Tell me in the comment section what you guys, if you like to see stuff like this before, it's a little bit of an experimental videos, like the video and all that stuff. I stream on Twitch, link down in the description. I'm also a private coach. You can hire me for 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Doesn't matter if you're top 500 or bronze, doesn't matter what console you play on, as long as you can get me a bod. We can talk about that, so hit me up on our Discord servers, which is also linked down in the description, and we can set up a session, hopefully help you rank up. Now, as always, guys, please take care of yourself. I love you guys very, very much. My name has been Jonal, and you guys keep the enemy in your crosshair.